Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change your life. Usfartem Lachem. Just a quick story before we start. I was reading the story yesterday that there was a chassid that was chassid of our Rebbe, and he got told a story about Siddim of the Frierdiker Rebbe. They gathered together and they gave up the years of their life for the Frierdiker Rebbe, and they said, "We're giving our lives. we're gonna donate some of our lives to the Frierdiker Rebbe." And the story goes that because of that, the Frierdiker Rebbe had 30 more years, something like that. So this chassid heard this, and he was thinking about it, and he, and he's like, "You know what? I want to donate some of my years to the Rebbe." So he wrote a letter to the Rebbe saying that he donates 1 year of his life to the Rebbe. The Rebbe should live an extra year, and he will live 1 year less, which is, you're giving up a year of your life. It's no jokes. And so the story goes that he wrote to the Rebbe that I'm giving one of my years of my life. Imagine coming to that conclusion to you. So the Rebbe writes him a letter back, and the Rebbe said that I appreciate the offer, and it's very appreciated that you want to give a year of your life to me. He said, but it'd be more valuable if you take those years that you have and keep that year, but use it out for its fullest. And I think it's a very powerful story because the lesson that the Rebbe is showing is that in a certain sense, it's easy to mafkis, to give yourself away, but to take yourself, it's easy to run away into the seminary, yeshiva setting, or like a bubble of religiousness. But the Rebbe, and that's what the guy's saying. It's easy to say, listen, I'll give up one of my life. I don't have to do anything, so I live 1 year less. What's the difference to me? I'm not around. My shama goes up to Gan Eden, I'm good. And then the Rebbe has more. But essentially, the Rebbe is saying, no, the purpose of your life is not to give it away, is to use it out to the fullest. I think this is very much connected with our Maimer, that you can say, what I need to know all these details. I have to know how my nefesh b'hamis works, how my nefesh l'kis works, and not just how it works in general, but specifically in all its details. As we talk about nefesh b'hamis, it's pretty messy. He gets told off that he's not behaving like a person that's a son of Av Mitzvah Yaakov should be, and we say to ourselves, "Leave me alone. I don't want to hear about this." So now I have to realize this, and I have to work on that. Just let me enjoy my life. And that's what the Rebbe is saying. If you want to really do Mesiras Nefesh, you really want to give yourself up. Don't so to speak, kill yourself, but be in the world and work to the fullest. The most important message is that we have to realize that we're important, and every day is valuable. And that's what the Rebbe is saying, that every day is valuable, and we have to use all those days out to the utmost. So just a quick summary that we've explained essentially the question. The Maimer is we're about to start explaining soon. Is that why does it say Satan Lachem Machas HaShabbos? Why does it say you should count yourself the day after Shabbos? It's really the day after Pesach, first day of Pesach. And so we said we have to understand, not to understand that answer, we have to understand the whole concept of Tzvis Eimer, which is refining Nefesh B'hamis, and we explained how we have to use the Nefesh B'hamis, and that's he narutza, like we said that pasuk, Mashcheni Achrecha narutza Avini Machadarav, that Mashcheni Achrecha pull me is Hashem taking us out of Mitzrayim from Lamai Lamata, and then Achrecha narutza we will run, getting Nefesh B'hamis involved, and through getting Nefesh B'hamis involved, then we reach we have that level of ritza running, and then we have Melech Hadar, we get to Matan Torah to be able to receive the Torah properly. So we said not to understand that, and then we said that really working Nefesh B'hamis, it takes 1 day for the Seichel Nefesh B'hamis, but for the rest of the Nefesh B'hamis, it takes a long time. It takes 49 days to go through each individual issue and to recognize it and to work on it and things like that. It takes a long time. And so then we said, come, so let me explain it to you. And so the Rebbe explained to us, what does it mean Nefesh l'kis? What does it mean Nefesh B'hamis? And that's what we have done until now. Yeah, and just a recap, because yesterday went a little fast. Nefesh B'hamis is like this: the main emotion is love, What's the love of Nefesh Bahamis? He loves Gashmias. So what's the chesed shebechesed? Because I love Gashmias, so I love running after Gashmias, and I love seeing Gashmias and people with Gashmias. Yeah. You have a desire for Gashmias. What's the Gvur shebechesed? A Gvur shebechesed Nefesh Bahamis? Because I love Gashmias, so I'm angry when someone tries to take it away from me. Someone tries to tell me off. When they come and they tell them, look, you're behaving on a mensch, so you get angry, leave me alone. What are you telling me? I'm not behaving like a mensch. I want this, and I like this, and this is tasty, and it's enjoyable. Oh, it's Tiferes. Tiferes is the beauty of the Gashmis. Like, such a beautiful Gashmis thing. What a beautiful cake. And you get a geschmack out of the beauty of it. Netzach is you overcome yourself. That even when you're not, let's say, hungry, but you still push yourself to eat, or push yourself to stay up late. I'm tired, but you push yourself to stay through and move on and to keep on going. And Hoid is even from the outside that you're having things in the way of this love for your Gashmias. You push, you overcome that, and there's people. Some people tell you, that's the outside. Is people coming and tell you, look, you're behaving not like a mensch. You've been Avmitz Yaakov. You're acting like an animal. You're doing things partial divine Masurim. So you don't let that bother you. You hold strong to your taivas and to your love for the Gashmis, and that manages to get through. As Netzach, as Hoid, you said, is that you connect to it, not just you do, not just you want it, but you have like a connection, you feel connected to it. And Malchus is that you actually express it, Machshav Diva Meis. That's all Nefesh Bahamis. And yes, one of the things we could do is recognize throughout the day, when we eat, or when we talk, or whatever we have throughout the day, we could stop and try to think about it and say, well, what's this? Is this my chesed or is this my gevurah? And in the chesed gevurah, is this what midah of it is it? That was Dalit. Okay, hey, and behold. So now we're going to just a quick summary. Tell ahead what we're going to do is we're going to discuss Lag Baomer, because ultimately this is my Lag Baomer. I'm going to explain what Lag Baomer accomplished, meaning essentially what does Chassidus accomplish. So the main refining of the middays of the emotions is in Lag Baomer. What's the day of Lag Baomer? It's Hoid Shebahoid, and he's going to explain what this means. This is the end of the main middays, because the next two is Yisaid and Malchus. Yisaid is connected to it, and Malchus is actually doing it, but the emotional aspect is until Yisaid. What does Hoid mean? Hoid is the lowest level in Hoidah, in recognition. He explains that you recognize and you admit. So what does it mean Hoidah? I recognize something. Not I understand it, but this is what it is. And he gives an example. You have a wise person that is way wise, much wiser than everyone else. So what happens? But then there's someone else that's much younger, but he's also wise. He has understanding. But being that the older wise person is so much wiser, the kid, as much as he has seichel and he can think, but it's the wise older person is way above his understanding. Nevertheless, even though he doesn't understand what the guy is saying, but it's above him, but he appreciates there's something there. So even though he doesn't understand what's going on, but he recognizes there's something there enough to say, I should mavat myself, I should put myself aside for him, and I should come and try to receive from this person, even though I don't understand what's going on because it's way above me. The theme, he recognizes, he feels that this is a very lofty level. Since he has a shaykhus seichel, meaning he does have understanding, Not that he understands the idea, but he understands something. Sometimes you don't understand what's going on. Clearly I can tell that guy knows what he's talking about. So that's what's sort of happening. So therefore he understands that the smartest thing to do is to nullify himself in front of him. Not because he understands what the guy is saying, because he doesn't, but because he recognizes that would be wise for him. It's like someone comes and gives you a class on something you don't understand, but you can tell that they do understand. So you realize that maybe I should go and hang out with this person and try to gain from this, because there's clearly something there to be gained. But even though he doesn't understand, but that's what he does. So again, there's a wise person and there's a simpler person that has seichel. So he has, being that he has seichel, even though he doesn't understand what the wise person is saying, but he recognizes there's something there. So he mevatels himself and he nullifies himself and he tries to connect to this person. He wants to get closer to him. Why? Not because he understands something. He's like, oh, I can gain so much. I don't really understand, but I realize this is a good idea. But there's a low level in this. But then there's a low level that he doesn't understand that this person is so wise. Because the first guy, he realizes something there. He doesn't understand what that is, but he knows that there's something there. So that causes him to mevatel himself and to come close to the person. Whereas there's a lower level that you don't even recognize that. There's no recognition. You just mevatel yourself. Not because there's something there that you realize I should mevatel myself, just because you do. And that's hoid shebahoid. Because the first level is haidam, is you nullify yourself. Why? Because you recognize something there. Not that you know what's going on. You don't understand the class, but you understand something there. But hoid shebahoid, you don't even understand there's something there. And nevertheless, you still mevatel yourself. This hoida, this nullifying that you do to this person is not because of your chabad, because of your intellect or your chagas, because your emotions, you don't feel anything, you don't understand anything. It's just the total submission to this person. Like we say, Moedim Darabanan. What do we say? Moedim Nachon Lach, Alshan Moedim Lach. So we see that in Moedim, when we say Moedim by in a minion, and the Chazan says Moedim, so we say Moedim Darabanan, so we say it twice, Moedim. Moedim Nach Lach, Alshan Moedim Lach, in the beginning and the end, which has both Moedim, which is the idea of Haidah. So we have this Haidah twice, which is representative of this idea. Haid Shebahaid. This lower, so to speak, lower level, like total nullify, give yourself over to something, not because you understand or because you feel anything, just because you do. Which is the last level in Kedusha. He doesn't say it's the lowest level, this is the last level. And that's why the rabbis say, whoever doesn't bow down by Moedim, he doesn't get up at Tchilas Mesim. It's a very interesting statement, it says at the Gemara. That whoever doesn't, by Moedim, bow down, he doesn't get up at Tchilas Mesim. Which is seeming like, what's the connection? Why can't you get up at Tchilas Mesim? Because you didn't bow down by Moedim? So you meant to bow down, he didn't bow down. Why is it such a severe punishment? So we can only really understand it mitzad the Chassidus. That's what we're going to explain. Because kigam kasher ein etzle inyan idea. Because even when he doesn't have the knowledge, the nullification that he's meant to do, but since he knows he has to do that, we have the birth, because we say Moedim twice. The Haidah Shebahaidah. You have to have the minimum amount of Haidah, of this giving yourself, nullifying yourself. The minimalist amount. Not that you understand you have to do it, but you do it because you do it. But if you don't even do that, so then you get no hope. So I feel even if he doesn't understand, but he knows he has to do it. At least on that level of It's not that he doesn't understand, but he recognizes something there. He doesn't understand and he doesn't recognize anything, but he knows that that's what has to be done, and he does it. Kabbalos still. So then he has a hope. But but he's totally lacking even recognition of any level. So then Azai Shidrasai Nefechas Lanachash. It says in Gemara, his spine turns into a snake when he passes away. It's a whole interesting Gemara that things change themselves. Meaning he has no shaykhs kedusha, meaning he's totally lost, and therefore he can't come to this meeting. But what we're seeing is that we're talking. Remember, we're focusing on Hajj V'Hod, which is Lag Baomer, and Lag Baomer is the end of the kedusha. It's, so to speak, the end stages, the last level, so to speak, in working on yourself in a general sense. And we say what's Hajj V'Hod is this level that you totally give yourself over to Hashem, not because you understand, and not because you have Chabad or you're Chagas, but simply you do it because that's what you have to do. And as long as you have that, which is the sort of the simplest of levels, you don't have to come and say, I'm into it, I feel it, I want to be connected, I want to have more relationship. Nothing. You just I realize I need to do this. Then you're good. But if you don't have that, it's a sad situation. Now can understand the connection between Lag Baomer and the Rashbi. Rashbi's whole job, what he did was he connected the highest of high with the lowest of low. As the Rebbe explains in the Sikha that was said before this Maimer. Therefore, the revelation of the depth of the source of sources above, that's what Lag Baomer revealed the deepest levels. Why was it able to reveal this highest of levels? Because of this lowest, the furthest of levels, which is Hajj V'Hod, which is the lowest level of Avodah. Because your Avodah is not because you understand or because you feel, or because you recognize you should understand and feel, but you don't recognize anything, but you still do it. It's, so to speak, the lowest level, but the lowest level can bring the highest level. But through having that Hajj V'Hod, you're able to open up the channels to receive the highest of levels. And through that, what does it mean? It will be revealed. The inner levels is that you can reveal the Chassidus. And how do you open yourself up? Chassidus is this level of Hajj V'Hod, which in simple English, the Rebbe says it's kabbalos. Is giving yourself over, not because you understand, and not because you feel it, not because it's enjoyable, but because it's what you're meant to be doing. Meaning, so this is how he explains kabbalos. Very interesting, because you don't take into consideration the time and the space. So we think kabbalos is, I don't like to do it, and I push myself to do it. And he's not saying that's what it is. He's saying that you don't take into consideration the limitations of time and space. I gotta go to bed, or I gotta sleep more. I have kabbalos. I get up. I need to get up now. Who cares how much I slept? Now it's time to get up. I need to daven. And I'm davening. My phone is off. I'm totally in a different world. I heard about this. Yeah, a friend of mine actually was saying that one of the people that unfortunately passed away in Meron, he was a businessman in New York, and the story goes that every Friday at 12, he'd turn off his phone. And he wouldn't answer his business, anything, nothing. He was totally getting ready for Shabbos. Come home, help with the cooking and preparing for Shabbos. And he was totally. And one time they started a business, something, and a website crashed. And so they were like, someone asked, let's get in touch with the owner. And so the worker's like, listen, he doesn't. 12 o'clock Friday, he's done. What do you mean? Nothing's going to come. His phone is off. Everything is finished. And the guy was very impressed. And this is kabbalos. Shabbos comes, I don't care the business, no business. I'm going to lose millions. That's it. I'm shutting it off, and I'm ready. That's kabbalos. So avodah is not logical. Like this guy, what do you like? How can you run a business and you're not being able to get in touch with? But it doesn't matter. It's preparation for Shabbos. So therefore, when you have that. And it's not that it makes sense. It's not like you deep connections. It's just this is the minimum. Not just that the time and space will conceal and make problems for him, like this person, but on the contrary, like this person, he was successful. He probably had an amazing Shabbos because he came to Shabbos like a mensch. He affects in the time and space this idea of that he takes control of his life. So he's saying the kabbalos that the trick is in order to receive these high levels, we have to have a level of kabbalos. Kabbalos means that we do what's right. We don't pay attention to anything, voices inside of us that tell us we shouldn't do this or something like that. Even though it doesn't always make sense according to what nature says, but if this is the right thing to do, you do it. And when you do that, you pass a chatzinah. Wow! So you give yourself the opportunity to be able to reveal these levels. To be continued tomorrow.